welcome back. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to address something that's changed. As you can see here, I have gotten my eyebrow pierced. It's lovely, it's bruised and swollen and beautiful, and that's the look we're going for. But you will notice that some of the videos I upload are going to be inconsistent as to whether I have the eyebrow piercings or not. They get filmed at different times and they weren't all filmed in the order I wanted to upload them in, so just bear that in mind. So without further ado, I'm going to share with you one of my favorite stories about my life that ironically I'm barely a part of, I guess. It was also one of my dad's favorite stories to tell. One that I rely on quite a bit to explain a lot about me because I live to be an inconvenience. I was born to inconvenience people. Let me explain. We're going to go back to 1987. So it's 1987. Governor Schaefer is in office for Maryland, and he has this big project plan for where Route 50 and Route 13 meet in order to do anything with like the roads or any of that jazz. You have to do road surveys, which was my dad's specialty. Well, this project that Schaefer wanted to do was going to be like it was a big deal. Okay. He wanted it to be like this big project that people would be talking about through his entire reign as governor. There's a better word there, and I can't think of it. And hopefully we get him elected again and again, and he'd do bigger and better projects and blah blah blah. So what he wanted was to have this road survey done, and he wanted to use this this new equipment that Maryland actually didn't own. They had to rent it from another state, and because Maryland didn't own any of this equipment, none of their state highway employees were trained to use it yet. So they had sent my dad off out of state to be trained to use this particular equipment for the survey. Dad has been off to go train to use this equipment. During this time, my mom is pregnant with me, and my dad has made sure that everyone in the office knows that, hey, you know, as we get closer to, you know, my wife's due date, I'm going to make sure they have a radio in my truck. I'm not going to be doing a lot of like out-of-town projects. You know, I don't want to be doing a lot of overnight projects unless they're like local overnight. And everyone's like, yeah, sure, that's okay, yeah, great, no, whatever, that's fine. Fast forward to February 1988. It's the beginning of February, and my dad is getting all set to go do this big 3-day road survey down the Eastern Shore. We live in Baltimore. I'm not born yet, but my parents live in Baltimore, okay? The place where Route 50 and Route 13 meet is about 2.25 hours away from here, depending on traffic. And of course it's February, so there's ice and there's snow and there's all that jazz. And there's actually a snowstorm anticipated for that weekend. So Dad is ready for this 3-day job that he has to go do. My mom is like, hey honey, we need to go to the hospital. And they go off to the hospital, and my mom's in labor. And my dad's supposed to leave for this road survey in a couple of hours, and he calls in the office and he's like, hey, I'm not gonna make it. I can't go do this job. My wife is having our first child. And no one's really happy about this, and had that happen, you know, in today's day, my dad would have been fired, but this is 1988, and, well, unions. So, because my dad can't go down to do this road survey, oh, they'll send somebody else, right? Wrong. Remember how I said that Maryland didn't actually own the equipment they wanted to use? So they couldn't train people to use the equipment? And they had to send their people out of state to be trained how to use this equipment? They only sent my dad. One person. Okay, well, there's a failure point right there that could have avoided this whole nonsense. But sure, alright. And here's the thing with big projects like this. You can't just reschedule for a week out or next weekend or, oh, we'll go down a day late. There's permits and paperwork and all kinds of junk, and it's not so bad when you own the equipment that you want to use. But Marilyn was renting the equipment they wanted to use. So the equipment they had rented was just sitting somewhere and being unused because they had nobody to use it, and they had to return it. And they had to reschedule the entire road survey, and they had to rent it again. And they had to redo all the permits and all the paperwork and basically start over. So everything had to get rescheduled. And here's the funny part. They scheduled this road survey for the beginning of February. Why? Because my mother, and subsequently I, was due February 29th. That's right, I was supposed to be a leap day baby, and I came 3 weeks early. So early that I was born on the day my parents were to have graduated from like birthing class, and because they didn't show up to the last class because, you know, my mom was in active labor, the instructor refused to give them their like completion certificate. So they like to say that I was their completion certificate. So that's the story of how my being born cost the state of Maryland $2 million and how I incurred the wrath of Governor Schaefer just by existing and being born 3 weeks early. So here's today's spotlight. I'm shouting them out because they made this gorgeous piece of fan art for me for one of my pictures on Instagram. Be spotlighted, head over to my Instagram, hit me up, comment on something, chat me up a little bit, and you could be in the next video. Also brought to you by the power of Schoola.com. Schoola is a thrifting website where you can get clothes for kids at really great prices, and you don't have to leave your couch or take off your pajamas and put on real pants. Mom, I love them. Check out the link for $10 off your first purchase if you're interested. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember that vaccines save lives. Bye! Oh, nuts. What did I do? Okay. I'm ruining the story. What's the word I'm looking for? Why are my glasses so dirty? That'll do. Let me just do a quick fact check.